Alright, in this section we're going to be completing the square to find the vertex. So in the previous section we talked about finding the vertex and what the vertex is, and we're going to be talking more about that. But we had it in a special form that we could just look at and tell what the vertex is. But that's not going to be the case this time. If I'm given, for example, y is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 5. And the idea here is we want to be able to graph this thing. Okay? And if we know where the vertex is located, well, that helps out a lot. So this is the pattern that we need to take in order to find the vertex. Alright. So let's just continue this right down here. What we're going to do is I'm going to look at this piece right here. Okay, first thing, and this is how we're going to do this. You're going to take a half and you're going to multiply it by whatever this number is. So let's say it's -2, and then what we're going to do is we're going to square this. Now this may not make sense right now, but just follow me. So half of -2 is -1, and -1 squared is 1. Okay? Alright. Now I'm going to rewrite this. This is y is equal to x squared minus 2x, and I'm going to leave a space here, and then I'm going to go plus 5. The number that we're going to plug into this space right here is going to be the plus 1 that we found. Okay? This number right here is going to go in there. Well, if that goes in there, then we need to write a -1 outside here, because a plus 1 and a -1, you know, they just disappear. We're back with the original here. Okay? Alright, well, now that we've done that, this piece here, what we're going to do now is I'm going to start a parentheses, and we're going to take half of this number again, which makes that just a -1. Close parentheses, put the square here. Alright? This piece right here now is what we're looking at. The plus 5 minus 1 is a positive 4. Guess what? We just completed the square. Now we can go back and look at this right here and tell what the vertex is. And I'm just going to state that with the letter V. So the vertex is a point. This is your x, and positive 4. Okay? So remember, this is a plus out here, and that was important. So the vertex is at 1, 4. We go over 1 and up 4, and it's going to look something like this. Okay? So that's all we're concerned about right now. Looks something like this right here. You can find the y-intercept by plugging 0 directly in, and you get 5. So it looks like about right there. This is where it crosses the y-axis at when y is 5. Alright. Okay, well, let's look at some more of these. You're going to need lots of examples to look at to get this pattern down, probably. Alright, so we're going to look at this one here. Y is equal to x squared minus 6x plus 11. So we have x squared minus 6x. We're going to have a blank here, plus 11. And we need to figure out what goes in that blank. You're going to take a half every time, multiply it by whatever this number is, happens to be -6. Okay? Square that number. So a half of -6 is -3. And of course we square it and we get a 9. So 9 goes here. And of course it's a plus 9, and you must put a -9 outside. Alright. So y is equal to, now we go x minus a half of this number, which is 3, squared, and then we take this number here, plus 9, 11 minus 9 is a plus 2. All right. Alright, so we said 11 minus 9 was 2. Right? And so the vertex, and of course I'm just going to label with a V here, the vertex, that point is going to be 3, 2. Alright, so if we were to sketch this thing out, we would come over 3 units and up 2. So somewhere right here. Now we notice there's a plus sign, or it's positive, okay, which means that this vertex, or this parabola, is concave, or I shouldn't say that, that's calculus, opens upward, right? And of course it's going to cross right here at the y-axis. If we plug 0, 0 in for x, it crosses here at 11. Now, to check our work, just to make sure, we'd want to multiply this out, and hopefully we'd get back what we started with. So let's just do that real quick. Right, it's worth doing. This way it shows you how to check, making sure you've done everything correctly. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 3, negative 3x, and negative 3 is positive 9. And of course, don't forget the 2 out here. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 9, 10, 11. And that is what we started with. Right? X squared minus 6x plus 11. Just can't get everything on the same screen. Okay. Good enough. Let's do some more of these. What if we had y is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 16. Alright, so I'm going to go a half times this negative 8. The whole thing is squared. We got to get that number. Half negative 8 is 4. And 4 squared, actually, let me just write it like this so we don't skip any steps, is going to be 16. So I'm going to rewrite this as y is equal to x squared minus 8x. We got a space here. We got to fill in. And then our plus 16. Well, the 16 goes right here. Of course, it's a plus, but we must put minus 16 out here. Alright. So now we start a parentheses, x. It's half of this, so that'd be minus half of 8 is 4. Quantity squared. And this piece right here goes right here. Well, 16 minus 16 is 0. So guess what? We're done. Alright, so there's a 0 here. So the vertex point is going to be 4, comma, 0, because there's nothing here, right? This is like plus 0 out here. Okay? So the vertex is 4, 0. Alright. Okay. We have y is equal to negative x squared minus 2x minus 8. Now here's something I may have not have mentioned. This needs to be a positive right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull this negative out. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 8. So if you were to distribute this negative back across, right, this is what we would get up here. So we need to get it in this form where there's a positive coefficient right here. Okay, it's very important. Now what we can do is just go ahead and do what we've been doing. So I'm going to take a half times this number here, which is 2. And of course, the whole thing is squared, and that just ends up being 1. Alright, so now that we've got our 1 here, I'm going to rewrite this as y is equal to, and I think I'll just use a bracket. So we have x squared plus 2x, we got a blank here, plus 8. So what do we put in the blank? This 1, right? And of course it's a plus 1. Then we write a minus 1 outside. Now I'm going to alright, so start parentheses, x, we take half of this, so that leaves us with 1, squared. Then we take this number here, put it here, so 8 minus 1 is 7. So we're going to put a plus 7 here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and distribute this negative. So we have y is equal to the negative x plus 1 quantity squared minus 7. Alright. So our vertex is this number here and the minus 7. So vertex is going to be 1, negative 7 is our vertex. Alright, I think I said the vertex was 1, negative 7, but remember, if this is a positive here, it's going to be minus. Okay, so that's something we got to keep in mind. Okay, so negative 1, negative 7 is the vertex. Alright, this next one's going to be a quiz question. And see if you can get this. We've got y is equal to negative x squared minus 12x minus 40. So you try to find the vertex and then come back, check back the video, and I'm going to actually write the answer right here. Okay, so pause the video and you try to work it out. Alright, so that's the answer. That's going to be the vertex. Alright. Okay. We have y is equal to negative 2x squared minus x minus 1. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to factor this negative 2 out. So factoring out the negative 2, we have x squared, and then this will be a plus x over 2, and that becomes a plus a half. Alright, and I'm going to actually use a bracket here. So we have x squared plus x over 2. We need to find what the blank is, right? And then plus a half, and figure out what we're going to write there. And of course we do that, finding this blank out by taking this number here, which is a half. Well, first we take a half, then we multiply it by a half, and then of course we square it. That's what we've been doing previously. So that becomes 1/4. So this becomes 1/16. So we are going to put a 1/16 here, and of course it's plus and then a minus 1/16. So we have y is equal to negative 2. Alright. So we're going to have x, and then we take, remember, a half of this number, which was a 1/4, so plus. Okay, so we're taking a half of that number, so a half and a half is a 1/4. And of course that's squared. Now we need to go a half minus 16th. So let's do a little side work here. That's going to be, what is that, 8 over 8. To get a common denominator, so that'd be 8 minus 1 over 16, so that'd be 7/16. Okay, I don't know why I wrote a 17 here. That's supposed to be a 16. Ooh, don't want to make that mistake. Okay, so we have, and that's a positive 7/16 plus 7/16. Close that up. Now let's go ahead and distribute this negative 2 across. We have negative 2 x plus a fourth, and then negative 2 times 7/16, and of course we can simplify that down. Alright, I guess I'll have to rewrite this again. Whoa, about forgot the square there. Doesn't take much to get the whole thing wrong. And of course 2 goes into 16 8 times. This becomes negative 7/8. So the vertex will be negative 1/4 negative 7/8. Alright, that's fine. Well, I think before we go, I got a challenging problem. This is something that we're going to be doing in a section coming up, and that is we're going to be solving for x. Finding the solution set, and your assignment is going to be this. We have y is equal to, so we're just going to look at this generally, ax squared plus bx plus c. And remember, a cannot be equal to 0. Complete the square generally just on this. And once you complete the square, you need to solve for x. So complete the square. Complete the square. And show that, and after that, then you want to solve for x. And show that you get negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, so complete the square on this. Once you complete the square, then solve for x. And of course, we need to throw an e. We need to complete the complete. Alright, you can do it. Just complete the square. Factor that a out and do exactly what we've been doing in the last previous problems. You can do that, and then this might be the challenging part, solving for a and try to get it in this form. This is the quadratic equation. Alright.